I just want to say that you see a wonderful public space hacker, as we all know him. This is Delcho Delchev. He will tell you more about his experience in architecture. He's the founder of association Transformatorite. He's interested in design and digital technologies, and many other things you'll find about them.
Are you hearing me? Okay. I think that the acoustic is enough good to talk without mic, but thank you for all of you to be here and to try to think of their own projects. Why it's important to take part in competition like Chivas. We was discussing a lot of time in our organization how to protect ideas from people, and we realized that we shouldn't do this. In spite of this, it's better to talk with anyone about your ideas, and this will help the idea to grow. I'm Delcho, I'm from Transformatorite. This is NGO started in 2009 with some guerrilla actions. You know all about the context we're living in, and as an architect, I was very disappointed from the lack of interest from the people in the public space. This was one of the most powerful engines to start this organization, together with 5 architects, and we called Transformatorite because we saw that the energy is everywhere. The energy is existing, and we are trying just to connect this energy to make it useful, because many of the energies you are seeing, many of the things you are seeing, they're not useful. Could we start the video? Echo? Yeah. We started with some guerrilla actions. This is a project for a shelter for a homeless guy. This is one of our successful projects. I will tell you about this. It was in a winter day with a -20 temperature, and for a real homeless guy which is living behind, what we observed that the result of this project was more helpful for all people from the living community around than for the homeless guy. And after the action finished, all offices around started to maintain this shelter, although there was no living guy inside. And we observed that people need to invest some more energy and to socialize through the public space. We continue to do actions like this because it's very good to integrate people and communities in our team. Thank you. And we're supposed to focus on 3 main goals in our organizations. Firstly, we wanted to bring to life abandoned buildings, abandoned space. You saw so many buildings like this. We had a lot of ideas how to transform these empty spaces into nice public areas or cultural centers and so on. We are trying to help local communities to design their own spaces and things. And also we are trying to work with municipality. It's a hard work, you know, but it's worth. I will show you a few examples of what we are doing. There is a video. This is one of the most common projects. Almost the most important project because after this project finished, the model we created was replicated 1,000 times. You know, these electrical boxes everywhere, they're dirty and bad looking. What we did, we invited many crews from artists to design these electrical boxes, but in a campaign. It wasn't nothing new. There is some graffiti artists that are designing such boxes, but we made it in an innovative way, putting more than 50 artists on the street in the same day, painting these electrical boxes. Of course, people are passing through. They are saying, "Oh, let's see what will happen." At the second day, the boxes will be dirty, but it doesn't happen. And this is one of the ideas that when we're making things like this in a nice way.
Аз бих казала цялата улица, буквално всичко да е в това. Цяла София да се направи това. Моля да дойдете малко по-надолу. Тук е моят ход.
Който рисува добре, който не рисува, нищо не прави.
Това е абсолютно нужно, важно, красиво, облагородява.
И да, чудотворно. Нищо не мисля, аз съм хипнотизиран.
Half of these artists
Das gut така, бе, не си играте с тока, бе.
are painters.
От 5 години минавам покрай този трафопостик, не съм обърнал внимание, сега имам основание да го гледам.
Хваща окото на човек, поглежда го и го хваща просто. И както срещам думите, които са, много ми харесва.
Да, много пак, според мен.
Ако налепят полицейски услуги, където чисти извозва и всякакви такива неща, не трябва да са.
It's like Rumble.
Бойко Борисов така се гледа и той ще го хареса. Между другото, той харесва магистралите, ама ще хареса и това.
Тази идея е приветствана с голямо постоянно подощниците и разбира се движение трансформатори. За това и съм готова да подкрепя продължаването на този проект. Хубаво е, че се грижат за за всички тези неща.
Специални благодарности от името на ЧЕФ към моите художници, които се постараха изключително много и във всяко едно табло ще видите индивидуалния почерк на всеки един от тях. Жителите на София 10 сигурно се радват на този проект и го подкрепят. Така че още веднъж благодаря.
Many of these painters didn't have this possibility to contact with people, to paint on the street, and they were very excited. Thank you. Why this project was important, not only for us, for everyone. Firstly, because such activities make people more sensitive to the public space. At the same time, you are seeing it's a very small amount of money, but with a huge result. After this action, people started to call us, could you paint our electrical boxing from our building? And of course we refused because we are not painters of electrical boxes. We organized this just to create the right model. We would like this to happen in the city. And after a few months, we started to observe that many electrical boxes appeared painted. It means that people liked this and they continue to develop this idea. And we were very happy of this. Working with local communities is very hard because we are designers, architects, and we have the idea of how it will look like, but how to help the people from the local community to understand this. This is one of our most important projects with more successful, I would say. It's for gallery, Hedgehog Gallery in Blagoevgrad. You know, in Blagoevgrad there are only 3 senses: upstairs, downstairs, up, down, and on the stairs. Sorry. So it's very climbing spaces, and you see it was a lack of space around this gallery that people could stay, could cheat and talk about interesting things. And we created this retro stage, like big stairs around the gallery. And why it was very successful for us, because in public space it's very hard to maintain all these things we are creating. But here we had something like investor, the gallery, who was interested to maintain this public infrastructure. Of course, we are doing many other activities like research projects for policy making, working together with the municipality, and also you know, this is a very interesting monument in Sofia, combined with the bells. This is probably the only interactive monument, because people are only there and trying to produce some sound. And we created an event called Concert to the Monument, with the children and any kind of citizens coming here to listen to music and to ring the bells. Of course, there are another monuments that are not so beautiful. but we found a way to show that there is a need to interpret with the artistic instruments how the monuments could look like, and this is a 3D mapping show we made of this monument. This energy we're spending costs a lot. We are a dozen of people trying to live with this organization together. So we're not working in our fields. We are professionally in this organization. And although we are designers, we tried to figure out how to be more self-sufficient, how to be more sustainable. And you see here how the creativity could help the public space. This is a red bench. We are doing this by ourselves, but we try to find a way to help people from the city to do it by themselves, because we are only 10 architects and we cannot do everything. That's why we created our two companies. It's a kind of social entrepreneurship. I will talk about this in the few minutes. This is our space, Urban Design Lab in Sofia. You could, if you in Sofia, you could come and visit us. This is just behind the University of Architecture, in the former heating central. We took these spaces from the university, and with a lot of energy, we transformed them into two laboratories. One laboratory is called Urban Design Lab, and this is the previous state. You saw how dirty it was, and this is now. This is a multifunctional hall. We're working here during the day and making events in the evenings. And the other space is Smartfalab. Smartfalab means smart, you know, fab is fabrication and lab is laboratory. This is a machine hall for shared machinery, I would like to say it, probably like this. The idea is coming from the MIT and is concerning the third industrial revolution. You know, now everybody is talking about 3D printing, and the idea is that the production, the production is on your desktop. You're designing, and in the same time you're receiving products. This is a map of all these fab labs. We are part of this network, and so we could connect in each moment to this network of digital fabrication laboratory. A few words about this. You see, this is a kind of machinery space with a lot of tables, machines. People are coming there, and they are working alone with the machine, something that is unusual till now. If you need to produce something, you should go into fabric to let the file, and somebody there is doing something. But here is the opposite. You are sitting in front of the machine, and you have all the time to reach the limits of the technology. And this is the most appropriate space for many startups concerning product design, because with only with computer you cannot advance a lot. You need to produce in each stage your products. I will show you a few examples now. This is laser cutter. this machine is laser cutter, one of the most interesting machines, and you could see also 3D printers there. We're making courses. We're producing also 3D printer. This is one of our team, Dilan, which is making a 3D printer by himself. And few examples what we are doing there. We could do modeling of some spaces or objects. It's scale models. Also a product design like Halbike. You know Halbike? Yeah, this is one of the most successful startup concerning product design. The guys from Halbike won, I don't know, probably almost 100 euro in campaign for crowdfunding, and they're developing their product in one of the rooms in Smartfalab. This is Valery. He's very fond of typing and fonts, and he produced this chair. In Bulgaria, it's with Bulgarian letters. Stone. Yes. Okay, I will go back. You see, this is a model made by cardboard. The next model was unsuccessful because he chose a very thick material for this, and he made it twice with the proper material. So when you're making product design, we need something like 10 to 20 stages to the design development, through which you're using these machines to create models and to enter back information in the design. This is board games made during the course we are doing. It's made with 3D printer and a CNC milling machine. And this was about Smartfalab. This is our space for prototyping things. And the second company we are creating now is Urbanic. It started in a competition organized by BSNL and supported by American for Bulgaria Foundation. It's a kind of competition for social entrepreneurship, and we won a few amount of money to start in the beginning with the idea to produce bike racks, because you saw the bike rack in front of the university. Yeah, this is a bike rack, but almost invisible bike rack, and with not good design. It's just buy it from somewhere and installed. We have a great team and expertise, space, and equipment. The resources for each startup are very important. We have the space and Delcho Alphabet. As I told you, I didn't like the bike rack in front of the university because it's not comfortable and it's not good design. What we are proposing, it's a combination between bike rack and letters, and it's a kind of interaction between people who are investors and the public space and the other people. With such an instrument, you could write letters in the city. In the same time, you are producing comfortable design for there is a specific angle probably. Okay. Yeah, you could see It's a kind of game. For example, if you have a shop for panties, it's enough to write panties with the bike rack in front of it. And it's a kind of commercial for your shop, but at the same time, you're provoking people with bikes to stop and to buy panties. And our first investor, the Dallas Center, you could see even we're using wood. This is something very strange. People are saying, okay, but it's not steel, it will be damaged. No, it's rough wood, and it's very good because when you let your bike, it will be not scratched. It's very good for the bikes. Okay, let's try to change. Yes, you could see how it's working with the bike. So you are in the position of copywriter in the city, writing some words, and at the same time helping people with bikes to have good stock. Another thing, another product, in the same way we're combining something usual with something creative. You know what is gabion? This is a mesh, steel mesh, filled with stones, mostly, using in the infrastructure projects, along highways or everywhere, along rivers. And we tried to produce urban design from this, just hacking the original system, and you see it could be used very good for benches. Okay, but how to make this more useful? That every one of you to buy this mesh and to make these benches by its own. Okay, that's why we started to think in IKEA style, trying to produce design for public space, which you receive in a flat pack. And you could use in a very creative way, and you are the designer, and you are the investor, and we are very happy that there is not only the municipality that is investing in public space. This is a huge problem that we want to solve, because municipality has resources, but they have no ideas. Other thing, you know all these boards, commercial boards, everywhere. We are something like cultural organization, but we don't have enough big budget to make commercials on the street. And almost every organization is in the same state. That's why we try to figure out a new media which is more convenient to make commercial in public space. You know, there is a lot of parts which are not light up. And in the same way, by projecting something on the floor, the parts, you're making the parts in a psychological way more secure. Something is happening there. There is no dark everywhere. This is the start of the project. The first prototype, the second prototype, sorry. The first was in wood, and we tried to use these old school projectors, but we said, okay, how to project video with this is not possible. So we continued with this model, and we installed these projectors in Stara Zagora, and they worked there 1 year without being damaged, surprisingly. And this is the third model. Now the projector, you see, this is something like a bird, white bird with the lighting body, and the head of the bird is the projector. And also there is a system that you could interact with it and change the videos, and it creates a very amazing interaction in public space. Okay, and at the end of the presentation, I would like to, this is our team or part of it, I would like to provoke you to think like transformers, because every one of you is a kind of transformer. And it's up to you to make your public space better. And we're trying to help you creating some instruments for this. Enjoy. Thank you.
Illustrative presentation, and now we have a 10-minute Q&A session to both of you, so please go and come to the stage. I forgot to remind you to post more questions on our platform, so we will start with questions from the audience. Do you have questions, or should I start?
Give them a chance, maybe they're really eager.
Yeah. Oh, we already have a question here. I didn't expect. Have you thought of expanding your business outside Bulgaria? For instance, the bike rack idea will probably work in countries such as Netherlands or Denmark. I guess this question is addressed to you.
Where, of course, each business could be exported or to be done in an international way, but firstly, we would like to solve the problem here. So if there are people and bikers using this kind of vehicles, we need parking space for this, parking instrument for this. So firstly, we would like to test the products here, because for us it's easier to maintain and to test. And then, of course, many of these ideas could be exported and be sold away. We sell in Denmark or Netherlands, or why not in China? And of course, this product will be hacked very quickly in China.
There are many more questions concerning your projects, but before you answer them, please let's give a chance to your colleague to tell the audience how would an entrepreneur like him with such an open vision collaborate with you in order to achieve something great for the society.
How would we
in what way, yeah? Would you collaborate?
It's a very curious question.
Yeah.
I'll pick a random way to answer that. I guess you meet at a great place like this. You exchange some ideas. You have a lot of beer, maybe, and you see where the overlaps in your interests are. You see what skills are missing, like what, for example, you have, what I have, what I don't have, what you have that I don't have, and we see whether we can make a project together.
I wish you a common project, because I think both of you have wonderful ideas. And now another question.
And nice haircuts as well.
Yeah.
I didn't say, but we tried to take part in the competition of Chivas, and that's why I said that you must try any kind of competitions that are convenient for your ideas, because this is a very good way to put many ideas on the sheet and to see if it's working. And otherwise, you are thinking that you have a good idea, but it's something very...
And to get some feedback as well.
Yeah, to get feedback, and that doesn't mean if you don't succeed to this competition that the product is not good or the idea is not good. Probably this wasn't the right competition for this idea.
considering your ideas, because they're very creative and innovative, but they need funding, how do you get this funding? Where do you look for it?
Okay, this is very difficult question about all NGOs. You know, they have a lot of energy. They want to make great things, but things need money, and that's why we're trying to receive money from many different ways. Taking part in competitions, trying to finance our project ideas through project financing. Also trying to produce products like urbanic idea, and also to do some services. We are architects and we are selling our know-how, and with this money we are financing our projects and our long-term project, because it's easy to find money for 10 batches, but it's very hard to maintain some space in 200 square meters for many years. So there is no one question. Where not many NGOs are trying to work in this to take money only through project investment, project financing, but we're trying to combine. It's more convenient.
Thank you. And now a question to Blagoevgrad. Is it enough to have an idea to take part in NGOs, or will you have a working prototype to participate?
I guess there's two answers to that question. The theoretical answer is it's enough to have an idea. The real answer is it's not. Because whilst you could theoretically apply with an idea and that idea could be amazing, other people also apply to the competition, and if they apply with something visual that looks cool and you can touch and prod and maybe even break, then it's probably going to look better than some guy standing with an idea. Having said that, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an idea, but at the same time it doesn't really hurt to try and make even a rough prototype before you present.
Yeah, could I say something? This competition we won was something like €5,000 in the BSNL competition about social entrepreneurship. We went to the presentation with scale models of bike racks. We said, okay, we don't care if we don't win money from you. We are continuing to do this. We know how to do it, but you could help us to do it better, to do it faster, and we were excited because we were almost sure that we were going to lose this competition, because when you see idea to how to help some maladies, some poor people, or some more social ideas, because it's infrastructure ideas, and people it's more convenient to get money for something more social. It's and we were very happy to want to win this competition.
I think something good to keep in mind as well is that when you're trying to do something innovative, you believe passionately in your idea. There's this automatic expectation that whoever you talk to will instantly understand your idea, and that's actually very unlikely, because you happen to meet a huge diversity of people, and each person has a different interpretation of what you actually mean. So the more you can show them in terms of a prototype or a sketch or anything, to illustrate your idea, the more you can bridge that gap between what you mean and what people think you mean.
Adding to it, I guess it's very hard to assume that people think in the same way. So how would you prove to someone who doesn't understand why you need to paint over these electrical boxes? I mean, how do you get permissions to paint?
Permissions. Okay. So it is very important for us to integrate the landlord all the time, because the municipality, as a principle of all public space in the city, it's important to be inside the project, even if they're not giving money to us. Even if they're giving 5% of the money, we're happy that they're inside and they're involved in the project. And like this, we're more sure that if the project is successful, this could be replicated, or this could be enlarged in other scale. Okay, it's a little bit hard in the beginning to manage with all this administrational stuff, but it was not the big deal.
Thank you, and now you have 15 seconds each to say what do you think inspires the site in Bulgaria.
I'll let Delcho say it first.
Okay, we're very excited to change not only the physical part of the city, but the mental part of the citizens. This is probably our biggest challenge, because the physical part is very easy for designers.
Personally, I think it's a question of role models and examples. We have this expectation that not that much happens in Bulgaria still, maybe not the people in this room, because you see a lot of good examples, but the wider public in Bulgaria still sees that very few things happen positively in Bulgaria, and I think what inspires society here is knowing that good things happen. So the more positive examples we have, the more events like this that we have that reach a wider and wider audience, the more inspired society can become.
Thank you very much. Team, but let's go to the middle of the stage because it's a little bit hard here. Here you are.
Thank you.
Let's just get a photo together.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't forget to talk to them outside.